Hey Dreamcatcher, I am so excited you are here. And if you haven't yet, attached to this is your downloadable PDF that is going to go with everything I'm saying. But I just want to introduce myself. My name is Lauren Honeywell. I am the founder of Sassy Gal & Co., which is a company founded to help women, guide women to their innate abilities of who they are and to allow themselves to shine by rewriting the stories that block them from living the life they want to live. And so with that, what can you expect from someone like me? Well, I'm obsessed with time management and habits and planning. And also, I'm a bit woo-woo and soulful at the same time. So I like to call myself the soulful hustler. And why is that? Because in the last year or so, I've learned that hustling is amazing and great, but we also have on and off seasons. So I always love to honor and respect both aspects of who we are because as you might have seen this year, there has been a lot of talk about the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And together, that is what creates a whole human. It has nothing to do with what your actual gender is. It's just about tapping into both sides. And so I am a hustler through and through. I always believe in the hustle mentality, but I've also learned just that, calming down and coming into our divine feminine is really where we're going to tap into so much magic about who we truly are. So I'm so excited. Earlier this year, I had released the Dreamcatcher guide, and now I have revamped it and printed out because I am an avid believer that when you are pen to paper, you will remember things and you will have things just fly out of you that don't happen as much when you have like a digital guide. I have read this time and time and time again because so many people will fight me on the digital aspect, which is fine. But when we're talking about our dreams and our goals and our desires, we really, really, really want to print that out. We really want to have it in front of us. And it's so beautiful and so nice, and you're just gonna have such a different feeling, in my opinion. If you can't print it out, you don't have a printer, no worries. A notebook and pen and paper will work just fine along with it. So let's dive in. Why was this created? This was created for you because I wholeheartedly believe that accessing our dreams, accessing our goals, accessing our desires is the most important and potent thing we can do as human beings. So this guide is going to walk you through unlocking your dreams. It's going to have you thinking with the end in mind so that you can go throughout your life knowing exactly who you want to be. And you're probably thinking, think with the end in mind, what are you talking about? So let's jump into it, okay? So when you print it out, I wrote you a little something that I'll let you read on your own, but we're gonna dive into the practices here, right? And of course, before we do anything, I want you to remember that you're on a journey, right? And we're all trying to get to this destination and we can't wait to get there. And there's all these things we can't wait to get to, that $100,000, that $1 million, that six-figure life, those 10K months, whatever it might be, the home, the purse, the this, the that. What's most important here out of anything along the way is that, one, you believe in yourself, that you know that you can do it, that you are worth it, and that this just isn't about money, that this is so much deeper than just money, and that this is about who you truly want to be in this life and what your purpose is and what that path is. Because going through this, it's supposed to help you to know what you want to create for yourself, not what someone else has thought of or suggested or that you see on Instagram, right? So I want you to believe in yourself. I also want you to be yourself. Be that authentic version that is you. That is who the world is craving to see. And that is the person, when you're diving deep into this PDF, that I want you to really just say, like, who is she? How can I honor her, right? And then lastly, and most importantly, I want you to always love yourself. I want you to, because when we do tasks like this, when we work on ourselves, when we go through what's this dream life I want, we a lot of times can think back to our past, right? And sometimes we can get upset with ourselves because we're thinking back to our past and maybe we're not happy with some of the choices we made. Guess what? We're here right now today and you are exactly where you need to be. So I promise you that nothing you did will hurt you for tomorrow or for your future. And so let's dive in a little bit deeper. Just remember to love yourself, because you're on this journey, and this journey is beautiful, and this journey is life. And sometimes we seem to forget that. All right, it's time. We've got dreams to make come true. Let's go. So first and foremost, I have you think with the end in mind. And you're like, what is that, Lauren? And so basically thinking with the end in mind is a concept that Stephen Covey came up with when I was reading 7 Habits of the Highly Effective Person. It was a really interesting exercise. And honestly, it was a little challenging because I had never thought about it. Basically, you're at your funeral and it's a little dark, right? You're at your funeral and everyone is there and they're talking about you and you've lived your life. And what is that full life you live? And I guess the part about it is that because it's kind of a little bit dark, it shows you how easily we can take the moments for granted every single day in our lives, right? So this is another thing to just ask yourselves, like, how can you not take every day so for granted? What would make you enjoy each and every one of your days more often, right? This is also about thinking with the end in mind. It's also about thinking about the present, right? Because how are you currently living that is going to get you to that end goal, right? So you're at your funeral, you're there. What's everyone saying about you? What did you do with your life? How do you feel? It's a lot to think about, right? So I want you to spend some time really thinking about what this could be, what your life could be for you, right? So you're going to spend some time doing that. You're going to jot everything down. And then after that, we are going to figure out your dreams, right? So after you go through what could be, this end, this legacy, right? This dream life, then we're going to write down about 5 ideas that maybe bubble up for you. And these could be, I want to visit Alaska one day. I want to make $100,000. I want to work out 5 times a week. I want to see my family once a month. Whatever it is for you, I want you to kind of take all those dreams and I want you to jot them down. And then after that, we get into writing out what your dream life is, right? And so now that you've seen this like end in mind and what your legacy could be, then what does that life look like? And so we reverse engineer it and we start from where we are right now to where we want to go. And what needs to happen in that middle ground is how we pull from it and start taking action today. Because taking action is the surest way. Action creates transformation. And when we are transformed is when we changed. And interestingly enough, the problem in which we have the thoughts in which we created a problem is not the same thought processy that we will solve the problem in. That energy has to change. We have to transform a little bit. That's why a lot of what maybe you've already accomplished, you're like a year or 2 ago, I could have never dreamed of doing that because you weren't in that capacity yet. So we almost have to prep ourselves to get to this point in our lives where we are able to do these things that we've never been ready to do before, right? And then once we kind of, narrow it down, we have some ideas, we know what our dream life looks like, we have this legacy, we have these ideas bubbling up, I then want you to narrow it down to 3. That's it, 3. I want you to pick 3 goals, 3 dreams, and 3 desires. And that is what you're going to work on. Whether it is a month, 3 months, 6 months, you get to decide that. Is that the way you want to end 2020, is working on these 3 goals and seeing that they happen, or at least just seeing some traction happen? So what it will look like is this. And you have your 3 goals, you narrowed it down to, even the word goal, you could use desire, dreams, whatever it is for you, whatever what feels aligned for you. And the idea is that when we have it narrowed down to these 3 things, we know exactly what we want, right? And again, that is how we reverse engineer it. So let's just take an example so that we can run through it, right? And on the next page, you'll see I did one of like losing 10 pounds. But let's say we want to make 100,000. And then the next one is travel to Alaska. And the last one is work out 5 times a week. So something else I want you to do is we're going to reverse engineer all of these, okay? But before we reverse engineer all of these, I want you to write below each of these. Why do I want to make $100,000? Why do I want to travel to Alaska? And why do I want to work out 5 times a week? That why is going to help you understand more in depth why you actually want this goal you're saying you want, or this dream or this desire. And when the going gets tough, you're going to remember that why, and it is going to continue you on the journey. So let's say you want to make $100,000 a year because you want to give your mom an amazing vacation next year, or you want to be able to give her $1,000, or you want to be able to take your whole family on a vacation, right? But right now you need to make a little bit more money to do that. Making more money so that you can help your family or have this memory isn't selfish. It's actually really empowering. And think about the memory you would be able to create and the impact and the value you would bring your family by being able to do this, right? So that why of like, oh man, I'll get to do this with my family keeps us going when we're like, oh, I don't want to, I don't feel like it. The same thing, working out 5 times a week, right? Like, how do you fit that in? Where will that fit in? Why do you really want to do it? Are you going to wake up earlier to fit it in? And then we have to get a little bit more specific as well, right? So work out 5 times a week, work out for 20 minutes 5 times a week, work out for 10 minutes 5 times a week. We want to get really specific with our goals, right? So we want to have our why and we want to get specific, okay? So now that you have those 3, we're going to go, why do we want them? And we're going to go even more specific if we're not being specific enough. And then lastly, this is when we get to reverse engineer. And this is when we get to decide, how will we get to this goal? How will we make it happen? And the how is basically you say to yourself, okay, make $100,000. So what would it take to up your salary? You also need to know, what do you currently make and how much more do you need to make? Is that getting a side hustle? Is that creating a side hustle? Is that asking your boss for a raise and going to your boss with all these reasons as to why you deserve a raise? Maybe you say, you know what? I make 80,000. I want to make 100,000. I know that position I want to be promoted to pays 100,000. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see what I could do to get that position. Maybe have a conversation with your boss, or maybe go to your boss and show everything you've done that makes you seem, makes you like eligible for that position, right? So then you have this data of how much you need to make, like when you want to make it by, what you want it for, why, and you are specific about it. If we're just like, make $100,000 and we're like, that's it. Well, it probably won't ever happen, right? We have to know exactly why we want something. And we also have to understand that there's ways in which it can happen. We have to be proactive about that, right? And part of this is like building confidence within ourselves and just knowing we can do it. And again, what did I say in the beginning? Believing in yourself, right? Because having that conversation with your boss could be challenging, or, waking up 5 times a week, that can be challenging. But if you believe in yourself and you love yourself and, you just keep going with that tenacity, you're going to get there. And this is a very simple and easy guide. And this is something that could take you maybe 30, 45 minutes to go through. But I promise you, this is something you can come back to time and time again. Every time you have new goals, whether it's quarterly or, every 6 months or yearly, this is just a great way to always just dig a little bit deeper and give yourself some time. And then lastly, there's a little surprise bonus inside of it that is a book list. I have included my book list, which is all of the books I love that have changed my life. And I've also included a link for you to be able to go to Amazon to purchase them. And then the fun and juicy part about it is that I have put a note section, and I have put inside the note section why it would be good to read and what my biggest takeaways were from the book. Secondly, I also include awesome jam list, playlist, music list, the Dreamcatcher playlist, which when you click, it will take you to a link in Spotify that you can listen to while you're working through this guide, and maybe light a candle, sit, listen to this music, and fill out this guide and really honor that divine feminine that lives inside of you. And then, of course, I've included a 5-minute morning meditation that I made that will help you start your day. So if meditation is one of your goals or something that you've been wanting to do, this 5-minute meditation is sure to help you get started on that journey. I'm so excited you're here today, Dreamcatcher, and I'm so excited we connected. I can't wait to learn more about you and see you work through your guide. So please make sure today, when you're doing your guide, to tag us at Sassy Gal & Co. Tell us your 3 biggest takeaways. We can't wait to see. Also, what is your favorite song from the playlist? And what else? You can find out more about us at sassygalandco.com, as well as sassygalandco on Instagram. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye, Dreamcatcher.